Good morning. I am Veronica Valdez, and I am the statewide director for the Minority and Small Business Capital Programs for Enterprise Florida. Welcome to the Minority and Small Business Boot Camp. As you know, we like to start with a few house rules. If you have a question, please put it into the Q&A. If you put it into the chat, we'll try our best to retrieve it, but it's much easier if we retrieve it from the Q&A, so thank you. Some of you are with us for the first time. On behalf of the Boot Camp Nation, I want to welcome you. We know that there are so many other places that you could have been, but you are with us. You might want to know, what have you missed if this is your first session? Well, in essence, you have not missed anything. All sessions have been recorded and can be found on the Enterprise Florida YouTube channel. This session will be there. IT promises me every session. It will be there by Friday at 12 noon. So feel free at your leisure to check that out. This is session number 11. This is the final session. Folks, it is time to land this plane. The captain says, put on your seatbelt. Fasten your tray table. We are preparing to descend. Either you guys have nothing better to do every other Wednesday for the past 5 months from 9 to 10, or I'd like to believe that we have done something right. So we thank you for joining us. Each week you have promised us that you would bring the energy. We promised you that we would bring the website. Folks, we are 10 for 10. So let's end strong. Ask questions. The speakers, as you know, every week, they spend an exorbitant amount of time preparing. And the way you let them know that you are engaged is by asking questions. This chat is yours. Yes, we bring this to bring you resources. That's not rocket science. But we also wanted to give you guys an opportunity, minority and small business owners all throughout the state, the opportunity to network. So if you have a product, if you have a service that you want to offer to the group, this is the time, put it in the chat. If you know of a phenomenal webinar or conference or something, any information that will benefit minority and small business owners throughout the state, the chat is yours. And I always ask you to do me a favor. Tell me who you repping. I'm born and raised in Miami Gardens, Florida, Miami, Wade County. At 17, I got onto a plane. When I landed, I was in Gator Nation. I always rep for the Florida Gators. I'm a member of the Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. I always rep for AKA. Whoever you rep for, I want to see that chat lit. This is your chat. Let us know. If you're with the military, let us know who you're repping. Ladies and gentlemen, I like to think that we save the best for the last. Today is how to take your small business global. This is one of the sessions that a lot of people want to know about. Why? Florida is home to 60,000 businesses, 60,000 that export throughout the entire world. We are only second to California. So citizens of Florida want to know about exportation and international trade. The top export markets, Brazil, Canada, and Mexico. Folks, I'm not the international trade expert. We've got 4 individuals that are subject matter experts. They're going to let you know everything you need to know about international trade. But COVID has taught us, if nothing else, that we must diversify. So this is very important to Enterprise Florida. Each portion of the day, some portion of the day, we spend helping minority and small business owners around the state, giving them resources to equip them for success and growth. And today is no different. My favorite part of this is the fact that I get to kick it off and then I get to pass the baton. Today is no different. You will hear from a number of speakers, but the first gentleman that you are going to hear from is my boss, Secretary Jamal Sowell. He is the Florida Secretary of Commerce. He also doubles as the president and CEO of Enterprise Florida. He travels around the country, helping to recruit some of the country's most promising businesses to relocate and expand to Florida. He also travels the state of Florida because he wants business and small business owners to know that they are truly supported. Let me tell you something about this guy. 2 weeks ago, he's been out of the office for 2 weeks for military reserve training. And you guys don't know this, but he's probably the first person into the office, honestly. And he's most days the last person to leave. So for him to be gone 2 weeks was a big deal for us. And he told me, Veronica, I'm going to try my best to get on that call. And those of you that have been with us, you know that he's been on pretty much every call. And of course, we prepared for him not to be on the call because he had a lot to do while he was away. And I tell you, 8:55 a.m., he's still texting me back and forth, trying to do everything he could during the last session to be on the call. Unfortunately, he was not able to be on the call. He missed the session. But the reason I point this out to you is this is the type of leader he is. Even though he knows we're going to carry on when he's gone, we're going to do what we have to do. He always wants to be in the trenches with us. So I thank him. When we first talked about this boot camp, he said to me, Veronica, whatever you need, I'll give it to you. And he did just that. So he made my job easy. So with no further ado, I bring to you Florida Secretary of Commerce, Mr. Jamal Sow. Mr. Secretary, it's all yours.
All right, Veronica, I appreciate that. So I'm going through the chat. I see Lavelle Munger. I see Kavisi. I see some Zetas up in here, some Hurricane fans, Seminoles, people from Tampa, and even Cape Coral. I see Tennessee in the place, Palm Beach County, Fort Myers, Duval County, Florida Gulf Coast. I see you, Mark, and everything. So it's great to have people from around the state here because it's exciting because this really started back in April. And it's a lot of work. And Veronica will tell you with the work that it takes, she has so much passion in what she does. And a part of that is really comes from her going to Norland High School, the Norland Vikings, for those who know South Florida. And then she may even say it, but she was the high school tennis star and she was set to play in college, but obviously took a different route. So I wanted to obviously tell her story, but also thank you all for attending this final boot camp series, which is really the appropriate culmination with how you can take your business global. So Enterprise Florida is the business intelligence hub for the state of Florida. And more than anyone, we understand that information is power and that we have organized these boot camps for a reason. So with the idea that Veronica had with getting Sbdc involved and DMS involved, is really helped a lot of businesses reach the height of their personal ambition. And the work that she's done, I really can't understate or even overstate the importance of her background with nightclubs, to being a lawyer, to doing business ventures. She's really a gem for this team. So as we start this last session, I wanted to announce that we'll have 5 more of these next week. Veronica, that was a joke. I know she's been busy, so she's not going to hear that right now and everything. But definitely, I look forward to the ideas and the planning that we'll have for the future to really be out there to help small businesses. Because a part of it, in the past, Enterprise Florida was known for big businesses and everything, big business recruitment. But when I came, I wanted to make sure that we really had a focus on small businesses to help those who are here in Florida. So that being said, thank you for being here. And I will go ahead and then announce the next speaker is Todd Inman. He is our DMS secretary. And people may not have heard about his background in the past, but it's very intriguing because he leads 1,000 employees and oversees a $910 million budget that manages over $25 billion in contracts, disbursements, and procurement annually. DMS is comprised of 3 primary areas of service: business, workforce, and technology. Each of these areas serves as a critical resource for our state agencies across the enterprise. He previously served as the chief of staff to the U.S. Department of Transportation, which is huge, where he led over 55,000 employees and 20,000 contractors. His experience in the U.S. DOT really included being director of operations and deputy chief of staff. During his tenure at the department, the agency worked extensively on autonomous vehicles, commercial space rulemaking, and regulatory reform. He's a graduate of Ole Miss, so go SEC football. And even though they're SEC West, I always give love to the SEC teams. but also he has a bachelor's degree from Ole Miss, and his bachelor's experience include entrepreneurial activities. And from there, his experience is really being brought from the private sector to the federal government here to Florida. So it's an honor to introduce him today, but also to see him engaged in this, because to have DMS here, Sbdc here is so important because they do such great work here in our state. So to have his presence here is really crucial for those who are trying to do business with the state and may want to do procurement or whatever that may be when it comes to their business goals. So I pass it over to Todd Inman, who's our Secretary of DMS.
Well, thank you, Jamal. I really appreciate that introduction. My gosh, I didn't know I've done so much. I think we've got some great speech writers and others, but I truly appreciate the introduction opportunity to be here. I want to actually go back a little bit to Veronica's comment about being on an airplane and landing. I've got to go to the airport later to go down to Miami, and it makes you think about the fact that we are somewhat of an airline here in Florida, which the president and CEO, if you want to think of him as Governor DeSantis and setting the vision for all of us, but as anyone who has dealt with Jamal, he is the captain. He is literally the captain of enterprise, of economic opportunity, and Florida has no better cheerleader. I'm just kind of a co-pilot here, to say the least, but I'm thrilled to be a co-pilot, to be able to do that. And you're going to find somebody like Bruce Roberts, who's with us on today from DMS, who's kind of like the chief purser, who will help everyone. So, and I guess Veronica is just the flight attendant that everyone knows and appreciates, that keeps everything in line. So we are thrilled to be a part of this. And I want to speak to the numbers, which I think are more important. Since April, the Office of Supplier Diversity at the DMS has actually certified 565 new Florida-based minority-owned, woman-owned, and veteran-owned business. That's 565 new businesses that can do business with the state and have the opportunity to literally prosper, to feed their families, to make sure that they can turn a profit, that they can work with the next generation and lift up not only our state, but their communities. And that to me is an amazing testament of the power of collaboration and the agenda that's been set by not only the governor, but the great work that Jamal and his team do. So we are happy to help support that. To give you a quick idea of the scope of some of the work that we do, in the next 6 months at the Department of Management Services, we're going to be working on procurements worth $2.5 billion that will involve over 900 contractors. These are great opportunities for us to work with our team of making sure that everyone has access to do business with the state. And we want to make sure those doors are open. So I invite all of you as small business owners to continue to engage with us, sign up, participate in the future exchanges, join us at our in-person supplier exchange or supplier diversity exchanges, where you can meet with advisors and network, and then leverage our resources. We are here for you. And we eventually want you to come back and participate as mentors. Jamal and I have both have really benefited amazingly from mentors who have brought us up to these ranks. And I know in conversations with him, he has a deep passion for mentoring others. And I want to continue to do the same. But I would charge you, now that you've been through these 11 separate sessions, take your knowledge, spread it to the rest of the community, because other people are just like you, and that they don't know how to kind of get started. And that is our duty to make this community, this country, a better place, is that we continue to give hand ups instead of handouts. So we're thrilled to be a part of it. I want to thank Enterprise Florida for the opportunity to be here. As I said, we've got Bruce Roberts on. He will be glad to do any questions or help in any way. Excited to be a part and excited to see the future successes for all of you in the next few years. Thank you.
All right. Next, I wanted to introduce Greg Britton.
Hey, good morning, everyone. My name is Greg Britton, and I'm the CEO of the Florida Sbdc Network. And, you know, Secretary Sal, count us in on those next 5 webinars next week. We're there to support you. So just have Veronica get those kicked off, and we'll get them rolling from the Sbdc side as well. I can't believe this marks the final session of the 2021 Minority and Small Business Bootcamp series. And I appreciate Veronica and the team for all their hard work and passion of making these events happen. Thank you to those who have been with us from the beginning, as well as those who have joined us along the way. These sessions have shared some important and impactful information for you, the small business owner, and provided a space to make new connections with other small business owners across the state. I want to thank our partners in this series, Enterprise Florida and the Department of Management Services. We look forward to working with Secretary Sal and Secretary Inman's team on exciting future initiatives to support small businesses. We are especially proud of today's session as we feature not only Ms. Emily McHugh, one of our fantastic international trade specialists with the Florida Sbdc at Indian River State College, but as well Mr. David Rosen, a Florida Sbdc at Florida Atlantic University client who has used our consulting services and expertise to grow his successful business. We are thankful as well to have our fantastic partners with Enterprise Florida and U.S. Commerce Services. At the Florida Sbdc Network, our philosophy is to help equip business owners with the knowledge and resources to be successful so they can build their legacies for years to come. It is fitting for the topic today because as a former small business owner myself, I know the importance of expanding the market you serve and having the guidance to help you through that process. One of my key objectives is to expand our international trade services. We've been in partnership with Enterprise Florida in this program since 2012 and have marked some fantastic statistics. The Export Marketing Plan program has generated over $77 million in new sales for those that took advantage of this program and has generated $151 million in capital formation for those businesses that have utilized the program and has created over 35,000 jobs for our state. The Florida Sbdc Network is state designated as Florida's principal provider of small business assistance. We provide consulting, training, and research services to help our state's small businesses navigate the hurdles of small business ownership. Our experienced consultants across the state provide no-cost, confidential, one-on-one consulting in all aspects of your small business, including strategic marketing research, business and strategic planning development, capital access and loan packaging, financial analysis and assessment, feasibility analysis, and startup assistance. We encourage you to visit us at www.floridasbdc.org to learn more about us and to find an SBDC near you. And as always, I want to thank you, the small business owner, for not only joining us for today's webinar, but for starting, growing, and maintaining your business in the state of Florida. Thank you again for joining us today and have an amazing webinar.
Okay, well, good morning, everyone. Welcome. It's so wonderful to be here. Hope you can all hear me and see me okay this morning. So my name is Emily McHugh, and thank you, Greg, for that kind introduction, representing the Sbdc this morning today in this amazing forum to share some insights on where to start. I'm going to kick off our talk today with just that, knowing where to start and understanding the mindset, the opportunity, and resources to have. So at this time, I will share my screen to do the presentation. Okay. All right, so you should be seeing my screen now. So here we go. We're starting it off. So here's where we're going to start. So first of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Emily McHugh, and I am the International Trade Consultant with the Florida Sbdc. I'm located at Indian River State College in Fort Pierce, which is in St. Lucie County, and we represent 4 counties in my region: Martin, Indian River County, Okeechobee, and St. Lucie counties. But the good news is that wherever you are in the state of Florida, there is an Sbdc that can serve you and an international trade consultant specifically in that region who can take care of you as well. So that's really positive news. So you can reach out. We're divided by territories, so you can reach out to your respective Sbdc and certainly can ask me any questions as well. In addition to my work at the Sbdc, I'm also an author of The Little Girl's Guide to Entrepreneurship, where I chronicle my entrepreneurial journey and share advice for other entrepreneurs and people new to business. I started my own business, Kasori, many years ago, with my sister to design stylish travel bags and accessories, which I still have. And I also do business coaching to help entrepreneurs overcome burnout and build sustainable businesses. And you can connect with me on LinkedIn or any social at my website, emilymchugh.com/social. I look forward to connecting with you there. Okay. And in the meantime, and I will be sharing more of the SBDC website as well, floridasbdc.org, and I'm going to drop that in the chat so you can have all that information. So today, here's an overview of what we'll discuss: mindset, opportunity, and resources. These three things I want you to keep in mind as you start to venture into international trade, whether you're new to international trade, whether you're just starting out or you've been in it for a while. These things are all valuable to you wherever you are on your journey. So the big piece of the puzzle, mindset. Do you have the mindset necessary to venture into this whole new realm? That is a question you need to ask yourself, okay? Because you have to have the right state of mind to do this. And what does that entail? All right, so it starts with a decision number one. And I call it the day one decision. When you start your business, to think of it as a global business, not just a local business. And it doesn't matter what your business is. There's always a context where you can link an international strategy. So thinking of the world as a global marketplace, as a business strategy. And this is extremely important because the majority, if not over 90%, 80, 90% of the world's purchasing power, 80% of the world's purchasing power lies outside of the United States. With that statistic in mind, it should be a priority for you to consider how you could have an international strategy woven into your business. The second thing is to have the preparation. Cultivating that global mindset is an imperative. Being interested in geography, okay? Where are the countries in the world? What are the capitals? What languages do they speak? What language do they speak in Brazil? Yes, it's Portuguese. Of course, we all know that, and it's not Spanish. So that's a little example. And having some kind of global awareness, global affairs, what's going on? Who's the president of another country? You know, not just the US. So thinking beyond your borders and thinking broader and thinking of your impact on the world and vice versa. Then the third part of this process in the mindset cultivation is having a plan. Taking the steps necessary to move forward with this information and who to go to, where to turn, and here you are. This is the place you need to be because the resources in front of you today definitely can get you on that journey. So the mindset is it's a cultivation over time. I mean, you learn customs of countries. Like in China, you hand a business card with both hands, actually in Asia, anywhere in Asia, with both hands. It's really important, and little tips like that. Okay, and so much more. The next thing I want you to know about is opportunity. So now that you have this mindset that you're thinking about, what are the opportunities that are available to you and how do you pursue them? And I want to just also say, some people may have the notion that, and going back to the mindset concept, that you may be too small to go global. That if I'm not shipping containers, then it's not an international business. And I beg to differ with that thought process. You could ship one package and going to a foreign country, that's very much international trade, to ultimately shipping a container. You have to start somewhere, and it is a scalable business opportunity. So don't think you're too small to be to think global. So where do you find opportunity? Where do you start looking for opportunity? Well, Google, that's always a good place. Always start with Google, but the key is knowing what questions to ask. That's really the key to maximizing Google. And there's a tool called Google Marketplace Finder, Market Finder, and it allows you to see how keywords are used around the country. Maybe you can type in the keyword of your product or service to see which countries those words are trending for. That's one example, and there are many others as well. But that's a quick way for anyone can go and look right now and try to get an idea of some things going on. You want to know how to assess your opportunities. How do I know what opportunity is best for me? And so you will need to be able to access various research tools, which I'm going to share with you in a moment. And also, again, knowing if those opportunities align with your business. Do they align with your objectives and your mission? So that's one way to assess, and it's always important to keep that in mind. And then thirdly, how do you pursue the opportunities? What will make your business successful and profitable? And one thing I always tell my clients is this: narrow down your opportunities. Learn to prioritize your opportunities. You may get many requests from around the world, or you may be interested in many countries around the world, and you think that you can pursue them all at once. And that is a major, major error. You can do it one at a time and have a strategy about it. So the key is to know how to prioritize. And with that being said, now we want to know what resources do we have to pursue these opportunities. And I want you to know, anyone, if you have any questions, please put them in either the Q&A or the chat, as Veronica mentioned earlier, and afterwards we can go back and look at them. So I encourage you to do that, please, if anything comes up that you want to ask me. All right, so what are some of these resources? First of all, which do you need? So it depends on what you want to do and when, and not one size fits all. People sometimes, there's a lot of information regarding international trade, and some of it may not be relevant to you day one. So you don't want to wait in information that's not relevant. You want to focus on what is immediately useful to you. And then as you need more information, then you have access to that. So not to get yourself overwhelmed, just simplify it as much as you can. When do you need them? So, okay, the resources that are available, again, there are endless resources. When do you need them? Start now and build long-term relationships. So as I just said, you may not need it today, but maybe in a few years you will, or a few months or a few weeks. And so today is a wonderful place. You have all these people who are, if you consider us like your gateway to the world, and we literally are, and you cultivate relationships with us, reach out to us, connect with us on social media or whichever which way, visit our websites, and you will begin to become top of mind. Put your name in the chat, your company name, like you've been doing right now, networking, and think long-term. Think long-term. International trade is a long-term game. It is not a short-term activity. And so that's the way you want to think about this. So your first resource, your local Sbdc, the Small Business Development Center, an amazing national treasure. We're a national organization. So I see Veronica, there she is. Okay, here we go. So here we are with the export marketing plan as one of the ways you want to really take advantage of the services of the Sbdc. And we can brainstorm with you, advise you, train you, and help you plan. And specifically the export marketing plan, which is a partnership with Enterprise Florida, and it's funded by them. They'll tell you more about it. There's certain criteria to qualify. And this is a strategic plan, a robust plan, like a 100-page document that helps you understand how to select the best international markets for your products or service. There's certain criteria, I've listed them here, and also a flyer that you can find on the floridasbdc.org website. And also we cover your industry, competition, country profiles, and action plan. And that's the goal of it. So I'm going to fast forward a little bit through this because it's just like little pages from it to give you an idea. We look at your competition, we look at the industry, and so on. And we do country profiles, as I mentioned before. And these are in-depth analyses of countries. So it's not just one page, it's like 20, 30 pages per country, plus a very robust action plan. So when you're done, you know where to go and what to do. And so we work with our resource partners, the SBA, Enterprise Florida, who funds the program, the U.S. Commercial Service, and the MDA, Minority Business Development Administration, who is providing a grant for the application fee for minority businesses who want to apply for the export marketing plan. That is a great thing. So this could cost you absolutely nothing if you qualify. So I encourage you to reach out, and you will see that's mbdaexport.com. I will drop that link as well. And so I want to thank you so much. I look forward to your questions. Again, visit us at floridasbdc.org, and you just click on Services for International Trade. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Florida SBDC. If there's something that you saw today, tag us, share it, let us know. Tag me at Emily the Entrepreneur on Instagram. I would love to connect with you and know what matters to you. And again, I will look at the chat. So thank you so much for this wonderful opportunity, and I wish you all the best as you explore your international opportunities.
So I don't know if I am being introduced or if I'm introducing myself, but my name is Ken Moradian. I am director of the Orlando U.S. Export Assistance Center. That's part of the U.S. Department of Commerce, International Trade Administration, U.S. and Foreign Commercial Service. If you could advance the slide. Yeah, my agency within the U.S. Department of Commerce is the commercial section of an embassy, or a mission, basically a diplomatic representation. And what that means in effect is that we are everywhere where you're looking to export or where you're currently exporting. We have our own boots on the ground. And I will explain what we do in the next slide. I will say that most of what we do is free of charge, but most of what interests you is stuff that we do charge for. For our fee-based services, at least 51% of the ex-factory price of the product or service we're helping you to promote has to come from U.S. sources. So if we can advance the slide one. All right, so really my agency does three things. We help U.S. exporters to distribute U.S. origin exports in foreign markets. And I'll talk more about what that means in practice in subsequent slides. We also help U.S. exporters to overcome trade irritants, technical, tariff and non-tariff barriers to trade. And we help attract greenfield investment into the United States. So if we can advance the slide one. All right, so the first of three things I said we did was export promotion. These are some very specific examples of services that we provide to U.S. exporters to help them distribute U.S. origin exports in foreign markets. So an initial market check is research into the viability of that market for your product or service. It's not identification of partners, it's validation that this is a good idea. Now, if you were to purchase an initial market check, this is customized research around your company and your product, we apply the fee for that toward one of the next services that I'm going to mention. There's the Gold Key service, the International Partner Search, and the International Partner Search with Virtual Introduction. So that initial market check fee can be applied to the Gold Key service, the International Partner Search, or the International Partner Search with Virtual Introduction. So what are these? These are partner identification services. We identify, screen, and qualify potential business partners for you. With the Gold Key service, we set meetings for you at their places of business in a foreign destination, up to 5. We limit it to 5 for 2 reasons. One is that if we've done our research properly, we're probably actually talking about 2 or 3 foreign potential agents, distributors, representatives, buyers, whatever it happens to be, that are spot on. But the other reason is that we have to build transportation time into this. And the probability of being able to squeak in more than 5 meetings, especially if we're talking about some of these mega cities in the world, like Beijing, for example, is fairly low. So the Gold Key service is up to 5 meetings with potential business partners that have been identified, screened, and qualified in consultation with you in advance. These meetings are facilitated by the U.S. Embassy, and we debrief you on appropriate follow-up afterward. Now, the International Partner Search is everything that a Gold Key service is, except that we don't set the meetings and facilitate them and debrief you afterward. We give you the information on up to 5 of the best prospects, and it's for you to follow up. In a COVID world, what we've done with the fact that people can't necessarily travel overseas to participate in in-person meetings, we have an International Partner Search with virtual introduction. So this is basically all of the research and whatnot that we normally have handed to you with an International Partner Search and told you to go do your own follow-up with it. Only instead of that, what we're doing is setting up a series of up to 5 meetings with these highly screened and qualified individuals, but they're virtual. They take place in MS Teams or WebEx, an online platform. Now, another service that is also fee-based, it's very likely to interest you, is called the International Company Profile. This is research on a foreign entity, not a human being, but a company or some sort of parastatal corporation, that sort of thing. It has to do with the form of business organization, the financials, the company's banking relationships, its trade relationships, its business reputation. There's a bottom line to it, though. Do we recommend that you do business with this company? Do we have concerns? What are they? And if we recommend that you not do business with them, why not? And then a final of our fee-based services that I suspect may be of interest to you is website globalization and localization, which is to say that there are countries where a mere color could make it difficult for you to sell. You know, for example, in Algeria, the color purple is unlucky. And the French, when they controlled Algeria, used to color code their ballots so that they would get the results in elections that they sought, because people wouldn't touch purple. Well, if your product's packaged in something that's purple and your target market's Algeria, that's a problem. Same applies to your website. We can go in and using keyword searches and the principal search engines in Algeria determine, you know, the likelihood of people finding your company just using their search engines. We can look at, you know, how it is that you're characterizing contact us. Can they actually reach you? There are a whole range of things that we would look at in this. So if we can advance the slide one. I said that most of the stuff that would interest you is fee-based. This is our fee schedule. It's not a secret document. I or any of my colleagues here in Florida can provide this to you. This is our current pricing. If you notice, the first column says small. That's for any company that is a small business per SBA based on its principal NAICS code. The gold key service was the in-person appointments. That's $950 for a small business. The international partner search is $750, and with virtual introduction, it's $900. And let me see, the international company profile we talked about is $700. You can see that. And the second to last item on the, where is it? Last item on the list, the global website globalization review, I'm sorry, is $100. A large company is a company with $1 billion or more in annual revenue, and a medium-sized company by default is a company that's neither small nor large, and that's how you interpret this fee schedule. You can advance the slide. All right, so what's free? In terms of export promotion, we provide business counseling on a regular basis. I talk to companies about protecting their intellectual property portfolio. I talk to them about complying with U.S. export controls, specifically export licenses, compliance with foreign standards like CE mark. You know, these types of things are knowledge that we have anyway. It's inherently governmental work. We don't charge for that. We also don't charge to advocate on behalf of the U.S. bidder or the U.S. bid in competitive public tenders abroad. So if your business relies on RFPs, RFQs, you know, tenders in a foreign market, and the tender owner is a foreign government or a parastatal corporation, we can advocate on behalf of your bid. That's free. Also free is overcoming irritants, technical, non-tariff barriers to trade, tariff barriers to trade. You know, I have companies who deal with customs irregularities in Africa, for example, and they need strategies to deal with that, as well as some sort of redress for the problem, a strategy for the short term, and relief in the long run. That's an example. What else is free is support to foreign firms that want to move to the United States, for example, or support to economic development organizations like Enterprise Florida in attracting that investment. That may be beyond the scope of things that interest you as businesses, but there are businesses that have partners overseas, and those partners want to move closer to them for whatever reason, and so I mention it here. If you can advance the slide one. All right, so the territory that we administer in Central Florida is 11 counties. And I don't know how well you know your counties, but basically Daytona Beach is in Volusia County. The county north of that is Flagler. This office handles Flagler County, Volusia County, and then the county south of Daytona Beach that has the Kennedy Space Center in it, that's Brevard County. And then if you look on the West Coast, about 2 counties north of Tampa is Citrus and Levy counties. If you drew a giant triangle across the middle of the state, that's our territory. What I've teed up in here is, I'm putting it in the chat right now, that hyperlink is how you can find the U.S. Export Assistance Center that covers your region of the world. Looks like somebody put in market identifier. What is that? Here's the Google Market Finder link. Okay, so I came in just before that. But anyway, please do follow up with us if we can give you assistance. Our principal partners do include the Sbdc that you just heard from and Enterprise Florida that you're going to hear from now. Thank you.
And thank you very much for the handover, Ken. A great partner to work with in the realm of international business supporting Florida companies. And likewise, the previous speaker, Emily. But again, my name is Joseph Bell, and I serve as the International Trade and Development Manager with Enterprise Florida. Of course, for those of us on the call who are not familiar with Enterprise Florida, we serve as the principal economic development agency for the state of Florida. Of course, the secretary and our CEO, who is Jamal, was on the call, well, is on this presentation. And of course, my colleague, Veronica, who is responsible for the small business development side of the agency. While Enterprise Florida focus on recruiting companies into the state of Florida, once you've established yourself in Florida, whether you're coming from New York, from Chicago, California, or you're coming from overseas, once you're in the state of Florida, you're producing a product, what happens thereafter? So this is where our international business division comes into play to support you now that you're manufacturing, to help you sell your products overseas. And of course, we know that every economy have a strong number or network of small and medium-sized businesses. You have to start somewhere, as Veronica alluded in her comments earlier. You have to start somewhere. And as you evolve, you grow into a bigger corporation, bigger business. But we, in the state of Florida, we embrace small businesses. We have resources for small businesses, and we want to see that you grow as well. What are some of the major reasons why our small businesses hesitate to compete globally? As Emily mentioned earlier, is that, you may be too small. Well, let me put it the other way. She said you may be small, but you should have the mindset of thinking globally. Many of our small businesses, and I engage with them all the time, it's, oh, this is not for me. Or they would get advice from another company that wasn't successful and may not even be in the same kind of business that they're into, but they use that and say, all right, this is not going to work for me. I'm not interested into it. And once we start presenting them with the resources, it's a game changer for them. Oh, I did not know so many resources were available. Or some of them, they're just focusing on whether it's to just sell in the Tampa Bay area or to just sell in Orlando, sell in Florida, sell in Central Florida. And never think of the huge markets that's in the south of the US, Latin America, the Caribbean, Africa, or if they want to go Africa, Europe, and so on. And we have resources to support you, to get you into those markets. As long as you're manufacturing a product in Florida, you're selling it in Florida, there is a possibility that there is a market for your product overseas as well. Next slide. So why you as a small company should engage? Emily mentioned about it earlier, about 95% of the world's purchasing power is outside the United States. So just think of that huge number. Yes, the US is a great market, but we have ups and downs in our economy. And when that happens, it doesn't necessarily affect the global market. And so that still gives you as a small business the opportunity to still generate revenue for selling your products overseas. I've worked with companies in Florida. Their focus is not even on the US market. It's so lucrative out there for them, whether it's in Latin America, whether it's in Mexico, whether it's in Africa. I just want to sell products to those markets because there's a strong desire, there's strong opportunity for me. And we work with companies along that line as well. But, in addition to the new markets, the new customers, it also allows you, because you engage in international competition, it allows you to add value to your product, because sometimes the market dictates that you have to improve the quality of your product. And that value you add is not just necessarily beneficial to the international markets, but it's also beneficial to the local markets that you're selling as well. It allows you to offset or mitigate the risks by reducing the impact, as I said, the impact of local economic downturns. Yes, COVID is a global phenomenon, but people are still buying and selling products overseas. And if you're in Florida or you're in New York or you're in California, wherever, and you realize, this COVID is really impacting my business, people are still buying and selling goods overseas. How do I know that? Because we're engaging with our small businesses that are still interacting. We're connecting them, whether it's with the US Commercial Service International Partner Search or with Enterprise Florida own programs, which I'll talk about later, that we're still connecting small businesses with partners overseas, people that are interested in Florida-made products, and they want to sell those products overseas. We're engaging them at this point in time. So what will help you compete successfully in the global marketplace? One of the things, I go back to some of the comments that was made by Emily, because I work with a lot of small businesses that have utilized the export marketing plan. So I understand the information that's contained in it. One of the things she talked about was to narrow down your priorities. You cannot use your same template in the US. I'm selling to 10 states in the US, but now I'm going to start selling overseas. All of a sudden, I'm going to just start identifying 10 or 15 markets and I want to sell to all those markets. No, focus on the low-hanging fruits, and then you are able to expand. The global marketplace, you want to ensure that you have your product has a unique value to the customers. Everyone is selling lemonade, but you have a unique lemonade. Why is it? What's unique about your lemonade? Well, you're using organic cane sugar, or you're not using cane sugar. You're using a different sweetener. You're using natural products, or you add ginger to your lemonade, or you add turmeric to your lemonade. Differentiate your product in itself. What's the benefit to the international customer? And as Ken mentioned, and even Emily mentioned earlier, you want to understand your competition. And the export marketing plan that the Sbdc provides answers almost all of those questions that will allow you to be successful. Without a plan, you're probably setting yourself up for failure. And with the export marketing plan, next slide, please. With the export marketing plan, what that does, it allows you now as a small business to focus on the key markets that you should be selling your products to. Please remember that the data that is provided is real-time data. On the Sbdc, have a great resource for those kinds of information. I encourage you to work with your small business development center, not just for the export marketing plan or to help you with your export or international trade initiatives, but there are a number of other resources that are available to them, to you as small businesses, that they provide. And sometimes you may think it's the export marketing plan that is that you need at this point in time. But after a review of your business, they may come back to you and say, why don't you do this first to prepare you for the next step in the process, which is what I like about them and working with them. As I said, the number of export marketing plans I've delivered to small companies with the US, with the small business, Sbdc, gave me that insight as to what's affecting our small businesses. So within Enterprise Florida, how do we work with the small companies? We focus on the resources that will help you get into those international markets. And we have different tools and programs that are available to us. You know, partnering with the US Commercial Service is a strategic, they serve as strategic partner to us for small companies that wants to identify partners in the global marketplace. Enterprise Florida have offices in several markets overseas, but for those markets we do not have a presence, we focus on the US Commercial Service for the programs that they have. And Ken mentioned the Gold Key Matchmaker service, which is what we use most of the time, especially if we're doing a trade mission. And of course, because of the pandemic, they have transitioned to the international partner search with virtual introduction. We've had several companies that have approached Enterprise Florida. How can we benefit from that program through the grants that we provide? Enterprise Florida also, through our network of offices around the world, we provide that service to our small companies as well. And as I said, because the pandemic is there, but international trade has not stopped. And we know once this pandemic has subsided, is gone, the pent-up demand that will be available, you as a small business, you want to position yourself to take advantage of this. So hence the reason why these resources are available to you. Next slide. So some of the resources that we have available to our small businesses, we have the target sector trade show grants. If you as a Florida company manufacturing products, you participated in trade shows within the US, and now your sites are on to the bigger markets around the world. If there is a trade show that you want to participate in overseas, reach out to us. We will qualify that event to ensure that it is a trade show, ensure that there will be benefit to you by participating in it. And if you qualify, you meet our criteria, we would provide you with a grant to offset the cost of that participating in that event. We have the business matchmaker grants, which is what Ken spoke about, the Gold Key Matchmaker service. For your information, our small businesses out there, Enterprise Florida is the largest utilizer of that Gold Key Matchmaker service compared to all the other states around within the US. So we've developed a strong partnership with the US Commercial Service around the world. And most likely when the foreign office here, it's a company from Florida, I want to think that they give you a special service because of that relationship we have with them, with the US Commercial Service as well. And I spoke about the US Commercial International Partner Search plus virtual introductions, and likewise Enterprise Florida Virtual Business Matchmaking. So reach out to us on that. The export marketing plan, what can I say? What more can I say about it? It's a great tool. Companies that I have worked with, and they have been, that plan have been developed to them, the look on their face, or it's always a wow moment to them. I did not know so much is available to me. I did not know there were so many resources available to me to help me sell or expand sell my products in a global marketplace. And we also have the Florida Online Global. So if you're a small business, a manufacturer, as Emily mentioned earlier, Well, in Brazil, let's speak Portuguese. You're manufacturing your product in Florida. You want to target that market in Brazil. How do the Brazilians identify your product? So when they type your product in their website, in the computer in Brazil, well, most likely they will get products that are manufactured in Brazil or maybe in South America. But with this program, it's more local, creating a local website that is related or connected to your US website. So now when those individuals are looking for products in their own language, but those products are similar to your Florida-made product, because of that local website that has been developed for you, then your products, your company website will show up, which gives you more opportunities in the global marketplace. Next slide, please. So again, in order for you to qualify, just briefly on that, you have to be a small business, no more than 500 employees. Our focus, and again, this is so fitting because this is this webinar is focused on small businesses. We often hear all the time, what is Enterprise Florida doing for small businesses? What are our local economic development agencies are doing for small businesses? Our international trade programs are focused on small businesses. So you have to be registered to do business in Florida. You must have a commercial address. Again, you're not a PO box or residential address. And your products must be developed or your service provided from Florida. We cannot be supporting companies that are importing products from Asia and then distributing it to South America. No, our grant programs does not support that. We may have other resources to help you, but our grant programs will not be able to support that. And you want to be export ready. That's where the export marketing plan would help you identify whether you are export ready. Next slide, please. So I always end with this, that avoiding international trade doesn't always solve the problem, but not participating in it automatically rules you out of any form of competition or increasing your sales in the international global space. So I will end by telling you that two lessons for today, or say two key takeaways. Small businesses can export successfully, and there are resources that are available, whether it's the Small Business Development Center, whether it's the US Commercial Service, whether it is Enterprise Florida. We're all there to support you. And we have worked with companies that have utilized all those resources. And hopefully our next speaker will touch upon that. Thank you very much. And this is, so depending on the location that you are in the state of Florida, this is the our contact information. Please reach out to us. There may be some information that you may be in need of that wasn't presented, but reach out to us. If we don't have the answers, we will direct you to somebody who can address you. We will not leave you hanging. That's what we do. We support our small businesses. Thank you very much.
Hi, everyone. Good morning. Wow, that's a lot of great information. This is David Rosen here. I am actually not involved in government in so much as I run a company here. I'm going to be very brief because we're running short on time. And my role today is to share some experience of everything you've just heard. So I'm going to do that as quickly as possible and try to hopefully leave you as energized as I am after hearing all these different services and thinking back over the years of what have we been able to take advantage of. So here we go. So you can hear a bit of a funny accent. I'm a very proud American, moved here in 2001 from Australia. And when we talk about starting a business with nothing, well, definitely did not have a credit report. I didn't even know what that was at the time, and started my business in the garage. We've grown from there to about 100 employees. I'm now a member of the board of the South Florida Manufacturing Association, as well as involved in some other groups. We sell product not only domestically, but internationally, been doing so for a long time. 2017, we were named the Florida Exporter of the Year. And that was a huge achievement for us. And then we went on to, in 2018, to actually win the President's Award, the E Award for Export, which is really a tremendous achievement for the whole organization. We manufacture cosmetics, shampoo, hair, body, face, and now actually pet and home products as well. In a nutshell, how did we go from small business in the garage to being able to export product? For example, we sell several millions dollars worth of product to Europe and Canada, particularly even during COVID. And how were you doing so really owes a testament to some of the work that we did early on. I reached out to the Sbdc almost in 2008 and had an export plan presented to me in 2009. And at the time, I wasn't very export focused. I was selling direct to consumer online and so on. The point is that export plan gave the ideas and the visions to be able to take advantage of a lot of the things that we've been talking about, you've been hearing about today. So I am really trying to impart on everybody here that a lot of the services you've heard about, they actually do work. I've worked with Enterprise Florida. I've worked with the consulate. I've worked with every group that you've heard today. For example, we became a registered drug exporter to Russia. Can you believe that? How did that happen? Well, thanks to the consulate office helping me there, we were able to do all of our paperwork and so on to be able to do that. I've worked with Enterprise Florida to attend trade shows, win gold keys, all those type of initiatives. But what's been key to being able to take advantage of it is also having a mindset. What is the process we're going to do to be able to take advantage of all the leads and what are we actually trying to sell? It's very important to take that into account. And really, I think going back to the lemonade example, differentiating what the product is. Remember, made in the USA has a tremendous advantage over the rest of the world. It really does. It really speaks for, sometimes we forget how brilliant it is here in America, especially in Florida. And we're in Broward. I'm actually in a hotel room right now, traveling to see other buyers. But we're in Broward. We're located in Pompano Beach, Florida. And we find that we can get out to the rest of the world very easily, especially online today. And it's important that you keep in mind a couple of things that I think should be added to what's been shared today. The regulatory environment, very important. So we're in cosmetics. We have done a lot of work, as I mentioned, with the consulate and other groups as well, in order to make sure the paperwork is in place. Every country has different paperwork requirements, some easier than others. For example, working with Canada, super easy to start with. Working with some parts of the Caribbean have also been really great because they really want to work with Florida as well when it comes to growing what they're doing as well. So the regulatory is something important to take a look at. Another thing for those manufacturers out there that hasn't been mentioned, which I really got to point out, there's tremendous tax benefits for your export sales. Now, speak to your accountant about the IC disc. That's ICDISC disc, where your sales actually fall into a different tax category, which really can help drive margin back into your business with your export dollars as well, and hopefully create more jobs and give back to the community, of course. So you've got the regulatory to think about as well. You've got tax advantages for manufacturing and exporting, of obviously what we talked about, diversification. Here's a little tip that I want to share as well, because we've talked about a plan, we've talked about knowing what your business is, what your product should be. Here's the tip that I've shared in many, and by the way, I've also done the Sbdc export certificate a few years ago as well, and it's great, and I've spoken at it over the years, especially pre-COVID. But one of the things I love to share is one of the tricks that we've employed very successfully. Listen, there's a lot of products out there already that do what we do, right? Even with our differentiation, whether it be turmeric or some other magic ingredient or a better design or a better price opportunity as well. What we do is we look at the market where we're looking to move into to export. We look at where there are trade shows and beauty shows. We look at where the competitors are. We do a lot of research into the local demographics. Who are the biggest competitors for us? What are the retailers or what are the stores or where am I distributing? And understand the competitive landscape. So for example, when we've been looking at Mexico, we're looking at the back of the bottles of our competing products and working out who their distributors are. And you know what we've been doing? We've been contacting all the distributors of our competition to see if they're interested in working with us. It really is a way to jump through a few hoops. If you can try and find out who already is on the ground in the country that you are looking to work with, not just some agent that you found at a dinner party. We're talking about actually researching who is already successfully distributing product and who is your competitor in that area. So for example, look at a trade show. For me, it's in the beauty industry. So I look at the international beauty industry conferences. And what I do is I go straight to the exhibitor list and I look at who's got the biggest booth. And then I look at what that company is and I work my way out from there. And then you begin to create a little bit of a diagram, a little bit of a map of what the competitive landscape is. Knowing what the competitive landscape is and knowing what your product proposition is allows you to take advantage of Enterprise Florida, the SBDC, the consular services, and everything else you've heard about today in order to put it all together to work out, this is the region I want to go to. Here is who I think I should be working with. Can you all help me get there? And even before you do that, they can help you understand and evaluate which is of the markets you should be looking at. I recommend that when looking at the foreign markets as well, you take into account not only your competition, but what the opportunities there are for growth, distribution, in terms of how you're going to get your product there, and also the regulatory environment as well. With that, I share that one last point is that taking advantage of these services can seem overwhelming. My recommendation would be just go ahead and start by sending out the one email. It doesn't hurt. It can't stop you. As I said, when I started, I started my business in the garage, no credit, literally off a plastic folding table. And today I'm blessed to be in a position where we're over 100 employees. We already sell to Walmart, CVS, HEB, and we are also in multiple countries. And my wish for everybody else is that you also can take advantage of the fantastic things that Florida and the governmental authorities and groups offer. And with that, I'll throw it back to Veronica.
Thank you so much, David. Like David said, keep it simple. Just start. Send that email, make that first phone call. Tap into SBDC. A lot of people don't know how valuable of a resource they are. Tap in. When we started this idea, we started this journey, the first person or the first entity we turned to was SBDC. And that's because they have such massive presence. Thank you, Beverly. She was there with me every step of the way. Could not have done it without her. DMS, we want to thank them as well. Bruce Roberts, he was the point of contact. We thank you so much, sir. We could not have done it without you. Strategic partners, as you guys know, you cannot do anything great by yourself. So Enterprise Florida, SBDC, DMS, that is the Minority and Small Business Bootcamp. We want to thank our IT department, the best IT department on this side of the Mason-Dixon. Lynn Byers, David Ziemba, thank you so much. You made it so seamless. We appreciate it. And most importantly, we want to thank our resource partners. They're the ones who are on the ground running, help us get the word out. If you are a small business, if you are a minority small business, please tap into your local chamber. They are really where the resources begin. So we have landed the plane. Thank you guys so much. Like I said, if you were here for all 11 sessions, we love you. If you were here for just one session, we love you equally. All of the sessions were recorded, as you know. They are on the Enterprise Florida YouTube channel, the entire playlist. That will live forever. So if someone you know, a small business owner, could benefit from it, please don't keep it to yourself. Have them tap in. We are available at Enterprise Florida. You guys have my email, my phone. SBDC, tap in with them. DMS, tap in with them. And let's make the rest of 2021 great. Everyone have a great day, and we appreciate it. Thank you. Bye-bye.